Welcome to the Chain Out Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Daryl.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Chain Out Podcast, Season 2, Episode 83. I am your co-host, Jeremy, and with me is your favorite host, Daryl. How you doing?
This?
Hey.
I'm doing fantastic. It's good to be back, Jeremy.
We'll still be doing it because I think the last time I checked my PDGA rating, it was still 6 or 7
Was it
points
the
lower
rating
than you.
was the host?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but hey,
I
let's
just have
get
to-
back to it. You said back.
Yeah.
Me and the listeners want to hear all about it. Tell us what happened.
So this weekend, as we've been shouting out on our socials, I went to Smith Lake Farm Disc Golf Camp
Lucky guy.
with Thomas Gilbert, Tommy G, with Sophia.
Did you ask him if he likes that, or is that something we shouldn't be saying?
No, but I did ask. So Thomas Gilbert was there. Sophia Donaku was there. Mr. Forehand himself, Nate Sexton, was there.
Mhm.
And Mr. Chad Stance. Now, I did say to him, I said, hey, Chance, I got to ask you, do people ever call you Chad? And he's like, I've been called Chase. I get called Chance. I get called Chad. And he's like, I'm just used to it. Most of the time, I don't even correct them. And I'm like, okay, that's good. Because I'm like, we had Thomas on and I kind of misspoke. And I think I may have done it when you were on the podcast. And he's like, I didn't pick up on it. So, yeah, all four of them, forehand clinic on day one, forehand with Nate Sexton, and it's kind of funny because you could tell that he's been doing these clinics for a while.
Okay, Nate.
Nate has, yeah.
Yeah.
He starts off, okay, I don't know if I need to tell everybody here. Does everybody know what the X step is? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, I don't care. I'm going to show you anyway. So then he proceeds to show you about the X step and where to go. And you know, if I'm honest, a lot of the information you can find on YouTube, right? There's clinics of Nate's on YouTube. There's clinics all over the place. Everyone has a clinic telling you how to throw. But it's the individual questions that you can ask and the little nuances that maybe don't get repeated in every event.
Okay.
And I mentioned it, like, just an example, I mentioned to him about the X step. Where do you have your feet in proportion to your target?
Okay.
And they said basically draw a line from the heel of your left foot, the toe of your left foot to the heel of your plant foot. And that's your trajectory line. So don't have your feet parallel to each other and think your toes running straight. Offset them and have the toe of your back foot to the heel of your front foot.
Right.
And that's your target line. So little things like that. But Thomas, watching Thomas rip a backhand down the fairway, just bombing these drives that there's no way we could ever reach. Sophia coming out, and she was, she went through a lot of warm-up things that she could do, and we all should be doing. Even down to the first thing that she does is she gets out and just flexing her fingers.
Really?
Like it starts from just the fingertips.
Okay.
Start from your fingertips, then walk into your wrists and your hands, then your elbows, then your shoulders, and then going through the whole warm up. So maybe there is something to you doing your little warm up.
If Sophia does it, then hey,
yeah,
I'm on the right track.
Exactly. And then that was followed by champs versus chumps.
Yep.
Which was good. We got to sign up for a hole that you wanted to play on.
Okay.
So I just found a hole that only had one person. A lot of people were signing up in pairs.
Right.
I found a hole, signed up for it. Only threw one shot on that hole, but that doesn't matter because my team played pretty good. My other three people on my card. When it comes out, look out for Champs versus Chumps 16. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to start off bad.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to say. But there gets to a point mid-round, and everyone's just going to be chanting, Bruno, Bruno, Bruno. And that's all I'll say. You just got to wait for that part.
Oh, I'm excited. I saw some of the teasers of the photo with Bruno's name on it.
Exactly.
So yeah. I'm starting to put something in my mind.
I'm hoping that the video does it justice, because when we were there, I was side on from it.
Okay.
And the whole course just went mad. And it's more, there's a whole thing around the shot and the point in the match and things like that make it better than just
explaining it.
Yeah, exactly.
So overall, good trip. Would you recommend it to people to go and check it out? What do you think?
If you want to learn a better forehand, definitely go there. If you want to learn a backhand, go there.
Okay.
If you want to learn about putting, go there. If you want to learn the mental side of the game, go there. if you want a nice vacation to Smith Lake Farm and grab some honey and play a very tough course, go there.
Well, tell me this, because we did talk to Clea and we talked to Chance. We had them on the episode, and we talked to everybody, but we talked a lot about what Smith Lake Farms is like, what Alders Beach is like, or all of that stuff.
Hmm.
Did it live up to what you were thinking? Is it just a great destination?
Yeah, like you can look at pictures and all that, and she will say Alders Beach. There's cabins right on the beachfront,
Mm-hmm.
but literally you walk out of your front door of your cabin,
Mm-hmm.
20 paces, and you're on the beach, and the lake, and the not the lake, the ocean is right there.
Right. The big lake, the biggest lake there is.
The biggest lake there is, yeah. And yeah, nice little cabins that we stayed in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we had the whole property, so we took over all of that. It's a short drive from Alders Beach to Smith Lake if you don't get a chance to stay in any of the glamping tents that are on the property as well.
Okay.
So it's all very nearby.
Nice. Well, why don't we take a minute? It looks like the chat is super active tonight. Do you want to shout out a few people in there?
Absolutely, just a few of them, or
All of them, however you want.
so we had Brendan in the chat. Brendan from BR. I'm not sure if he stuck around. Sonia's in the chat. Doc is in the chat as well. Dylan's in the chat. And Kevin King is in the chat.
Nice. And there's probably some other
Sending
people there who
good
haven't
vibes.
thrown a
Yeah,
comment out yet.
a lot of people we've found. Oh, Christopher is in the chat as well. Mr. Graybeard. Now, he is somebody that I met.
Okay.
He sent me a very nice photo that he took. And he got these very nice 3D printed coasters that, in the exchange of, hey, here's a sticker for you. He's like, well, I got to do one for you.
Mm.
Chris actually sponsored a hole at the event as well. So thanks for Graybeard Disc Golf for giving me one of your coasters. It's sitting here proudly on our table, and I'm using it as a coaster. Hopefully it's a coaster.
And if you look really close, it's cool. That coaster is gray, and the basket where the chains are, it is actually a beard. So you've got a gray beard instead of the chains in the basket.
Yeah,
That's
there
neat.
you go. Kind of
From one
goes
gray
its
beard
theme.
to another.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, why don't we hit the most recent disc golf pro tour event that happened on the weekend, which was the Preserve down in Minnesota.
Yep.
And not only, Daryl, did they.
Sorry, I just wanted to give a shout out.
Okay.
I got some cool discs as well.
Oh, you did.
I got some Smith Lake Farm and a special disc, which maybe I'll talk about later.
All right.
That's what I
Yeah.
wanted to say.
So the Preserve happened down in Minnesota, and not only did they have the world's largest rubber duck. I don't know if you saw any of the videos or the
I
pictures.
think it's hard to miss.
Yeah,
It's
like
the
I
world's
think
largest.
if you haven't seen this rubber duck, you got to check it out. I want to say it was 5 stories tall, like 30,000 pounds or something. It was huge.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, 2 of our amazing Canadian FPOs were competing, and that was Chantel Badinsky and Rebecca Dawn, and both of them had amazing performances. So we mentioned last week on the podcast when we were talking on Around the Basket, we had said that they were, by their ratings, they were 25th in the whole group of FPOs.
Yeah.
Chantel was rated 25th by rating, and Rebecca was 32. And what we were thinking was we were questioning, we're like, do you think they'll finish higher than their rating? Do you think they'll do a little bit better than 25th and 32nd?
That's what we were talking about.
And we said they would. We thought they would. And boy, were we right.
Oh, yes.
It wasn't even a question to be talked about, because when you looked at it, Chantel Badinsky ended up finishing tied for 18th with Sarah Hokum and Lisa Fakis.
Yeah.
Which was in the cash, and the projected payout when I checked was about $450 US.
There you go.
Not too bad.
About 2,000 Canadian.
And then Rebecca Dawn, we'll just go up to tied for 8th.
Just casually drop a top 10 finish.
Yeah, her first top 10 finish on the DGPT.
Yeah.
And not only that, she was tied with Big Money Missy. So with Missy Gannon, and her projected payout was, I think, $1,000. That should not be an 8. It was $1,000.
When you wrote that, I'm like, I don't know if he knows that. Was that for the whole event?
No, it was about $1,000.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So the next Disc Golf Pro Tour event that is happening is this weekend. It's down in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and it's the USWDGC. Daryl?
United States Women's Disc Golf Championship.
Thank you. And this time we have 3 Canadians participating. Chantel Badinsky will be back down there, Rebecca Dawn, and someone that you probably can call a friend these days after your weekend hanging out together. Sophia Donica is heading down there as well.
Yeah, she's my close friend now.
Yeah. So good luck to all three players. Keep an eye on PDGA Live. Cheer them on. We always say drop comments and words of good luck and all of those type things in their Instagram pages and that. They check them, they like them, they'll reply. It's really cool. They do appreciate the sport, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But Daryl, there's a wait, we have more. You've actually put something in the outline.
Yes, because you said that there's 3 Canadians heading down to Wisconsin.
Yes.
There may be 3 Canadian pros, but there's a few more Canadians heading down.
Really?
One of them is a friend of the show.
Oh, who would that
One
be?
of the originals.
Oh, I'm going to guess, is Jana Olsen heading down there?
No, somebody even more.
Maybe
Hey, Robert.
Dina?
You're getting closer, but no, someone earlier than that.
Andrea Michaud?
Andrea Michaud is going down. She's playing down in the event. So there's a few, and I'm sure there was a few other ones as well, but I was scrolling through all the people,
Yes.
all the different divisions, and I've seen that Andrea is down there. So
And that makes sense because I've seen some pictures. She was driving through Chicago. She's always good. She's a bit of a foodie.
yeah,
So there's always some pictures of good restaurants and meals along the way. So it's always fun to follow along with her journeys, and she takes lots of pictures and posts them. So good luck, Andrea. We hope you do very good. We know you've just been on an upward trajectory, so have fun.
Yeah. So she's down there as well.
And then, as we do on the show, we have giveaways.
We love a giveaway.
Yeah. And our most recent giveaway that we were doing was for the Dieppe Open. We have 2 spins. Did you do 2 spins?
I did.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I wasn't sure because we didn't talk about that. Good job, buddy. So we had a spin.
It's the technical side. I know how to do it.
So what do we have? We have a spin.
So we finally got around to it. We've been promising it for a few weeks. I was trying to get it out. I finally got it out. Put it out for a week. Part of the competition, there was 2 prizes. All you had to do was follow Dieppe Open and ourselves. We wanted to send some love over to Dieppe Open. We've done the spin. Let's get to it. Let's see who won. So there's 2 spins.
Yes. First spin.
So what is the first spin for? Well, they're together, but
yeah.
What the first prize? Is there a first prize, or does the first person get to pick?
I think what we do is the first prize, we've been labeling them as the replica trophy, the buoy. That'll be spin number 1.
Yeah.
Spin number 2 is the 2 thought space discs.
Is that the way you want to do it?
That's the way we'll do it.
All right.
Because I have not seen the spins yet.
Okay. Pay attention, everybody. There you go.
Nice.
So the winner of the replica buoy boy is Sonia. Sonia's in the chat.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Sonia. And the winner of the 2 thought space discs is Dina Dies Discs.
Fantastic.
She's not in the chat because she's probably
winners.
playing League right now. So
yeah,
there you go.
Well, we'll get. I'm sure we'll be able to find a way to get those out. Luc Richard is actually going to mail them for us.
Exactly. We'll contact the winners, find their addresses, send them off to him, and he'll mail them out directly.
Perfect. That is great.
But wait.
Okay.
Now we're done with that giveaway.
Yeah.
We love a giveaway.
We do.
Why not do one more?
It sounds good.
Yeah. We've already talked about it. Would you like to win a disc from Smith Lake Farm?
I would love to. Oh, I'm not. I can't.
Look at this. Oh, no, wait. This is just the mini. This is the Smith Lake Farm mini. Custom stamped mini that you're going to win. But also, did I mention? Oh, yeah. There was Sophia Donica. There was Chad Stantz. Chance Stad. Thomas Gilbert and Nate Sexton. Would you like to win a 167-gram Mamba signed by everybody on a custom stamped disc?
That is
from
fantastic.
Smith Lake Farm. That's what we're giving away. The mini and a custom disc.
There's sometimes I wish I wasn't a co-host, and I was actually a listener at
Right?
times, right?
I know. That's what I've said to you before. And I'm sure you're just playing on that. But
So what we'll do is we'll put up another post for that one. We'll make sure we get some love out to Smith Lake Farm so that you can follow them.
Doug says he hopes you win. You win it.
Thanks, Doc. No, I got Daryl did a good job. I had asked him to bring me back some discs by the pros, and I've got a number of those. I've got a stack here, so very exciting. We'll put those out there at a later date.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, the giveaways keep coming. We still have that A4 or the Fractal Prodigy disc, but when we run out of
Yeah.
other giveaways, then we'll give that one away. What do you think?
Yeah.
Probably that way. Okay.
I'm good for that.
Sounds good. So let's start. We got to get to the guest, but we got to get talk about our sponsors first because we love doing that.
We do. Let's
Chain
go
Out
for it.
Podcast is sponsored by BR Disc Golf, and we have a code for you if you want to buy some discs or something else at BR Disc Golf. You can go there and at checkout use the code CHAINOUT and get 10% off. And when we talk to Brendan, who's not only celebrating Father's Day, celebrating his anniversary, and celebrating his birthday this week, congratulations and have a great time there, Brendan, with all of those. He's also got a new batch of Prodigy discs in. They're up online on the BR website. Go check that out.
Mm-hmm.
You can also save 10% at Cardinal Disc Golf if you want to buy a hat or a jersey. You can go over there, use chain out with a space between the words, and get 10% off checkout there. And when we were talking with Lane and with Kevin over at Cardinal, they had just
Yeah.
dropped some new jerseys again. It seems like they're dropping jerseys every week. They have some Minnesota State jerseys
They do.
that they've got going on.
They have the Joey Tamale States, Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
and then also,
Yeah, the Twin Cities, because that's Minneapolis, St. Paul. That's the Twin Cities.
yeah, exactly.
And then
And then
there's
we
the
have
Vikings colors.
the Minnesota purple as well.
Yeah,
So both Joey Tamale jerseys there over at Cardinal.
that's cool. Some Minnesota jerseys. And then the other jersey that's going to be dropping, and we've been kind of laughing about this. I don't know if they're as excited as they maybe were at the start about getting Gannon Burr on the team. They probably were very excited. You know, you want to have one of the best players on your team.
Yeah.
But then you start and you go, okay, we're going to do Victory Series jerseys. So every time you win a tournament, we're going to do a jersey for you.
Yeah.
I think there's probably more than enough for Gannon to wear one every day of the week and not wear the same one twice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty interesting when you get a new jersey each time.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that Lane and Kevin are listening because what my thought is maybe we can get one for him with a big rubber duck on it to go with the
Yeah.
preserve.
I mean, when you've surely he's just exhausted. You know, they probably go to him and say, "Okay, Gannon, you won. What do you want? What theme do you want on this jersey?" And he's like, "Well, I've gone with the roses. I've gone with the ice and the lightning and that sort of style." At this point, he's probably just like, "You know what? Just throw a duck on there."
A giant rubber duck on
Yeah.
that one. That would be fantastic. So, yeah, check out our sponsors. That's a good way to support us for sure. And then stay tuned for our Patreon episode after this chain out episode. Now, normally it's in Around the Basket, but we have a Canadian A tier coming up. And it's going to be the larger than life Yukon Territorials happening up in Whitehorse this weekend.
Yeah.
So join us. We'll be talking about that. And we have, I think we've mentioned him maybe once or twice tonight, Canadian pro Chance Stad joining us. And he will be making the picks for Team Guest.
Yeah.
And Team Guest, if I remember right, has a slight lead at the moment.
They do. Yeah.
Mhm.
They're points wise. Points wise, they have maybe I think first to third is probably 7 points,
Mm-hmm.
and then tournament wins. You know, there's one win between. We've only done the 3 events, so somebody's in last in that.
Yeah, there is that
I don't need
happening.
to talk about that.
But you can check that out. And what we'll do is if you don't join us live, it'll get posted in a couple days. And we'll have an Instagram post with the 3 teams. Put a vote in on which team you think is the one that you like best. And we will have a $10 gift card to BR. We'll be giving away for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is definitely our good friend and Patreon member and computer programmer extraordinaire, Dylan Froelich, has created on our Chain Out podcast website. We have an ability for you to go in and make your own picks and compete with us and anybody who joins in there. So if you haven't started yet, don't feel like you're behind. You can start because anybody who is participating will be in for the draws that we do randomly throughout the season.
Right there.
Yeah. And I think I have everything covered there and we can get to our guests.
Let's do it.
Did I
We've been-
say guests,
Guests,
Daryl?
plural? Yeah.
I
We
did.
had a bit of a. Yeah. Let's go for it.
So there we go. So this week's guests, we're going to start with one of them.
Okay.
The one guest has been a PDGA member since 2006. He has owned and operated a disc manufacturing and retail company that has been operating since 2002. Did I forget to mention that they make 100% of their discs in Canada?
It's pretty cool.
They also produce ultimate discs, cold weather discs, and ultra lightweight junior discs. They sponsor players, support events, and more. Join us in welcoming Mike and Patrick from Daredevil Discs to the show.
You're going to give me a second on this one.
All right.
Hey, how's it going,
There we-
everyone?
Good. Just give me 1 second, Mike, because I must have you assigned to the wrong thing here. Let me,
Yeah.
switch that around.
Well, we can see Patrick so far, and there's Mike. How's it
There you
going,
go.
guys?
In there.
Hi, Patrick.
Hey, how are you?
There you go. Well, welcome, gentlemen. How is it going? How's the night treating you so far? Doing well?
Excellent.
Good.
Can't
It's a
complain.
little darker
Glad
here.
glad to be here.
The-
Appreciate you having us on.
Good. Well, we're excited to have you both on the show. And it's been a while. We've been talking about Daredevil discs in the background, trying to plan it. There's been some messages back and forth, but we're finally glad we were able to make it happen. And we want to start, so just so everyone knows where you are. Am I right, Mike, that you're in Gatineau, Quebec right now? Is that where you're joining us from?
Well, the head office is in Luxville, which is in the Pontiac, so it's just beside Gatineau, along
Okay.
the Gatineau Hills. So we have a nice view from the office.
Oh, well, that's nice. Good. And anybody who doesn't know their Canadian geography as well as we do, of course, Gatineau is just on the other side of the river from Ottawa. So just kind of in that area, right?
Yeah. That's where we originally started, was in Ottawa, and that's where our product is still made today after
Okay.
23.
All right. There you go.
Perfect.
And then, Patrick, where are you joining us from?
I'm from North Carolina, United States.
North Carolina. And what's it like? It's been getting warm. We're getting a little bit of summer weather up here. Has it been that hot,
Oh, it's
muggy weather
toasty.
that happens down there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's toasty.
There you go.
You go out to the mailbox, you're coming back sweating. It's no joke.
Yeah. You've got, how many times do you have to change clothes in a day? Hey?
Yeah.
Normally we're
3.
talking about one round of disc golf and we're changing clothes, but I'm sure it's probably every other hole for you guys.
That's about what it seems like. Yeah.
Or you just stay inside and keep nice and cool in your air conditioning if that's what you have.
There
Well,
you go.
it was 32 here today and humid, so
Wow.
Okay.
Everyone's getting the good weather.
That's right. I guess that's where we're lucky out here in Edmonton is we get that weather, but it's usually dry and we get it for at most 7 to 10 days in the whole year. Would you say, Daryl, about
Sorry.
that?
Yeah.
7 to 10 days.
Yeah,
of the year?
yeah, exactly.
So,
I think actually one of our listeners, I think Doc Zen is in North Carolina.
oh, there you go. North Carolina in the house.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
There you go.
He's an hour west of Charlotte. So there you go.
Okay.
I was in your
okay.
area last year around this time, and it didn't rain for a whole month when I was there. It was ridiculous. There was a lot of forest fires happening as well.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it, right?
not a-
It's the yin and the yang of everything, right?
That does happen for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, gentlemen, at the start of our interviews, we want to find out how you got into disc golf. But on the Chain Out podcast, we don't just come out and ask you. We have a unique way of doing it. What we do is we come up with a fictitious origin story based on a movie that may or may not have anything to do with how you got into disc golf. And what we do is we ask you and the listeners to see if you can figure it out what movie it is. And then after that, we'll get the real story. Now, Mike, I did focus this one mainly on you. So maybe you got a chance
Oh.
at it. Daryl couldn't guess the movie.
No,
So we'll see how it goes.
go for it.
All right. So maybe when you were traveling between Gatineau and Ottawa on the McDonald Cartier Bridge one day, Mike, you saw a disc golf disc sitting right on the line dividing Quebec and Ontario. You always want to see a lost disc get returned to their owner. So you stop to go grab it, and what would you know but someone from the Ontario side comes up and grabs it at the exact same time. This is a bon coincidence, but you were not going to let this stranger cop the disc away from you. The stranger's name is Wah, and he wants to solve the lost disc case with you as well. You reluctantly join forces and look for the owner at local courses. You played a few rounds and got hooked. Your motto was throw first, translate later. What started as a reluctant relationship with Wah turned into a deep friendship, and you ended up becoming Daredevils by opening up a disc company. Now, maybe that isn't quite how you got into disc golf, but why don't you tell us, Mike, how it really happened?
Okay.
Do you have any guesses first, I guess, on the movie? Any guesses?
No.
Sonya,
Patrick?
I wouldn't know where to start.
Sonya guessed it in the chat here.
So
She's
we'll throw
saying
that up
it's
there.
bon cop, bad cop.
So
Oh, okay.
I was trying to focus one that was kind of more over to your region there, is where I was
Yes.
going with that one.
Very good.
So yeah, go ahead. Tell us, how did you get into disc golf?
Well, after university, I just started playing Ultimate, and
These are around the wrong way.
I was living with my schoolmate Wah, who played competitively for years before I even started, and they're always buying discs from Discraft because they're probably the only one that did custom discs for teams. And basically, we both took industrial design at school, which is basically product design. So we basically just found a local manufacturer and said, like, why don't we do this ourselves for our Canadian members that play Ultimate and disc golf. We played a bit of disc golf at the time, but we never thought of getting into that because it seemed a little more technical. But
Right.
we did eventually.
Yeah. And then so Ultimate was kind of your origin, and then disc golf kind of came in after that.
Yes, and we traveled a lot to all the nationals and all over Canada just to advertise and get the product out there.
Yeah.
And it's always at the beginning when you're coming out with a new product, it's always hard to like get into the market because there's already like a dominant brands out there already. So it's it was a bit of an uphill battle, but I think we did pretty good for providing a quality product for the Canadians and the Americans that enjoyed our product as well. So I think it was a win for us. Eventually, we did everything with our own funds. We didn't try to get anything from the bank. When you mention frisbees, is like a very hard sell. But this was like 23 years ago, and people didn't even know what Ultimate was at the time, alone disc golf. So it was pretty difficult at the beginning. Just at least we had a good manufacturer to work with, and we figured out ways to get past the financial part of it. But and we went through several phases of molds as well, like to get to the final Ultimate disc that we use now. Just like testing it with players and focus groups, just getting. We used one for like a year or two just to see how it worked out, and then if there was any feedback, then we jump into another one. So the one we have now is like our third version, which we stuck with for the past 15 years. So
okay. Well, there you go. Well, that's a good bit of a combination story there for sure.
Yeah.
And we want to dive into the Daredevil side of it. But before that, Patrick, we need to know how you got into disc golf as well. How did it come into your life?
Well, slightly actually crazy story. As I don't know if you know the world distance holder, David Wiggins Jr. Believe it or
Right.
not, I played baseball with him. Started
Okay.
out playing baseball, and next thing you know, he's throwing these discs a mile and a half long, and I said, "What in the world is this?" I kind of picked it up, didn't really do much with it, and slowly progressed into it. A couple friends got into it, and I honestly just took off after once I started playing it a couple times. It just stuck with me. It was
Oh,
it was
nice.
yeah, it was a great experience.
So is it safe to say that similar to a lot of us, people who get into disc golf, when you saw David Wiggins Jr. make that throw and you see that beautiful S curve, was that it? And you just said, I want to be able to do that too?
So the first time I actually saw him do it was he was actually trying to do one of his distance records, and he
Okay.
did complete it. It was over by one of the schools I went to, and he threw it. easily probably like 2 soccer fields worth, if not more. I mean, and
Wow.
he was young. He was a kid at this time and just bombed it. And that point in time, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, that's just insane. I just didn't think it was even possible. And he's a kid too, so it was just honestly a really good experience to see it, and it kind of got me hooked.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what's going to get you hooked, right? I mean, that's what we're all striving for when we play disc golf is to try and throw it far. When you can do it at that young age and you can see somebody else do it, you're like, okay, it's possible.
Oh,
Not
exactly.
for the, not for
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
not for the regular guys. No.
Well, there you go. Now, Mike, when we get back to the Daredevil side of things, so as you were
Yeah.
saying in the origin story, so you and Wah were ultimate players at that time, and it was mainly the
Yeah.
fact that it was just tough to get discs up to Canada, and you couldn't get them that easily. And you said, "Hey, you know what? We
Yeah.
can fix that. We'll
Sometimes
just
the
make them
tournament.
ourselves."
Yeah. Sometimes like we'd run a tournament or something, and the product wouldn't like it would get stuck at the border, and then we were stuck without anything. So we wanted
Okay.
to try and relieve Canadian teams and organizations from that happening to them, just because sometimes things get stuck at the border. So at least we wouldn't have to deal with that
Right.
as well.
Yeah, it's funny. Hey, Daryl, with something like that is what you, you say, okay, well, how do we solve this problem? Can we get it to go across the border faster? Can we maybe try another shipping company? What can we do? You know what? We'll just make them ourselves.
You know,
That'll be the solution. I love it. I love
we
it.
hear that so
Yeah.
many times, right? A lot of people want to get into disc golf. How do I play disc golf? And I'll just create a course nearby, and that's how they get into course design.
Yeah. So
Yes.
when
Well,
you guys
I
got,
always wanted to create
go
like a
ahead, Mike.
toy.
Mhm.
I was always wanting to create a toy, and I liked sports. So frisbees are like kind of both put together. And with the all the disc sports that popped up after university that I've started playing, it seemed like a no-brainer for me.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And when you and Wah first started out, what was the mission or the general vision? Like, what was the idea you guys had for Daredevil discs?
Well, just promoting physical fitness and sportsmanship and a healthier lifestyle through disc sports, and
Yeah.
to get people to know what these sports are, because back then it was a little difficult trying to explain it to people. You'd
Yeah.
almost have to say it's like frisbee football for ultimate, and then you just had to like do regular golf references when you tried to explain golf discs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because at that time too, in the early 2000s, like disc golf had been around for quite a while, but it hadn't experienced that
Yes.
COVID boom that we'd seen and that type of thing. So you were probably, still pioneering and really having to teach people what the sports were at that time.
Yeah, the boom was pretty crazy for
Mm-hmm.
us because everyone else was running out of plastic, and people were like, "Where can I get this stuff?"
Yeah.
Oh, there's
Well,
this company up in Canada.
yeah. So while we're talking about plastic and things like that, when you first started getting into it, like, did you know anything about manufacturing discs at that time?
No, in our industrial design, you learned about manufacturing. We would visit like injection molding companies and other companies that make parts. They call them parts in the factories, but we call them discs.
Right.
Mhm.
So sometimes
Yeah.
the
And
language is not the same. When you go into the factory, you're like you have to
yeah.
change your language. They're referring to it as a part.
Yeah. I can see the relevance or the path that would take.
Yeah.
When you first started making plastic and discs, did you have your own molds? Did you go straight in with your own molds, or was there any did you buy any
Yeah, we
molds
went
or anything
straight
like
in.
that from other
Canadian
manufacturers?
made the factory that where we make them actually has a mold making facility on site.
Okay.
So they made them from scratch, like just a block of steel, and we came up with the designs, and we tried to figure out what type of plastics the other companies were using, and then we started testing out prototypes, and then we eventually launched it
All right.
in
Right.
2002.
And how long was that process from when you first decided, you made your contact with the injection mold facility? you kind of went through the whole
Yeah.
process of designing a disc and getting it manufactured in prototypes. How long was that process till you actually had the first disc in your hand that was, that you actually could sell?
For Ultimate, it was pretty like as soon as we got them out of the factory, we started going to tournaments like locally, and we
Right.
even that year we went to Hawaii for the World Championships with our
Wow.
product and got it out there as well. That was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I have to ask
And
too is keep going.
yes, my business partner at the time, Wa, was actually playing in it, and he was
Okay.
also the maximum time aloft champion, where you throw an ultimate disc up in the air
Hmm.
and then you catch it with one hand as it lands, and they time how long it's been up in the
Yeah.
air for. That was pretty impressive, and he had that title for 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. We spoke to
Frisbee
Frisbee Rob,
Rob
who I think is the current
or has held
has
that
held a
title as
title.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
exactly.
Yes.
no, that's awesome. Well, Mike, too, when you manufactured these discs and you came out with that very, very first one off the mold,
Yeah.
is that still something that you've held on to? And is that something that's, you have that keepsake from the very first mold?
Yes, we have lots of keepsakes in the warehouse, and yeah, we have so many different prints on them as well. I have boxes and boxes of most of the custom prints we did for people as well,
Right.
especially if they were like a championship or a nationals.
Neat.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. It's good to save that history because I think sometimes people may not realize the moment when it's happening and it's like, oh, this one's no good and it gets thrown away. And it's like, it's no good, but
Yes.
it's also a piece of history and a
It's
piece of
oh,
the
yeah.
steps along the way that it takes
Right.
to get there, right? So that's awesome that you were able to keep those. Now, Patrick, when we get over to you, how did you get involved with Daredevil and when did you join up?
I would say it's probably a decade ago, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I was just looking at discs and seeing what caught my eye, and I noticed Daredevil, and the graphics caught my eye from the very beginning. And I emailed Mike and kind of just told him that I was interested in some of the products and would love to try them out. And honestly, as soon as I got my hands on them, I've been a fan since. And honestly, I've had pretty much majority of Daredevil in my bag the entire time. Nothing's ever changed. I love the product. It's amazing. I was hooked. That's honestly what also helped me in disc golf. I got that mammoth, and it was smooth sailing.
See you later.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. You have a specific mold. I just want to jump over the chat because we have so many people in the chat that are mentioning the discs that either got them started in it or the first ones that they got. Just gonna scroll back here. Graybeard's in the chat. He says my wife still has the Wolverine in her bag. Kevin King. He's had a few here. They had a naming competition a few years ago, and he was lucky enough to be credited with the naming the Ogopogo. So
Oh,
that's a pretty cool
Yeah.
claim to fame there as well. Um, Robert Hawkins in the chat. He's saying the
oh,
Timberwolf
there it
Swift
is.
Fox. Yeah, there you go. Hellbender, Razorback. Kevin again. Moose is great, as is the Sabretooth. Another shout out for
Oh,
Timberwolf and Polar Bear. Oh, let me just
Yeah, let's get you
wait.
up on the screen
oh,
there. Oh,
coming
other
Let's
way.
go.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
Hellbender.
yeah.
Nice.
That's
Well, and also
our
too,
putter.
yeah, and Kevin had reached out to me earlier today and said that he got a chance to work with you a long time ago, and you were out there and able to support him early in his disc golf days as well.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was great.
One other
He helped
thing,
us out a lot.
yeah, another, Kevin, I think Kevin definitely loves his Daredevil disc because he's just full of comments here. He's saying that Daredevil has definitely mastered the art of reducing disc variance in their run. So that's always a good thing,
Oh,
right? When you're
consistency.
looking for consistency. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and
Well, and that was a big
then,
thing with a lot of the companies that people were dealing with before. Like they get a batch of discs, like the same color, same print of one of the other brand's discs, and they'd all fly differently, and they'd all like they couldn't figure it out. They wouldn't. with ours, we've tried to make sure that they're all roughly about the same weight most of the time, and it's very consistent. So that's a big thing with us, is trying to keep it consistent, because people were having issues with that with some other brands. Just
Right.
they want to get like a batch of discs and be able to throw them and it not do something different every time it leaves their hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing. We with our shows here, Mike and Patrick, we always get a lot of interest in the guests on there, but it's just packed and everybody's just throwing lots of love in the comments for you there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's
So,
excellent.
Mike,
That's great to hear.
oh, it always is for sure. So, Mike, when we're looking at it too, so making discs for as long as you have, is there any memories or any lessons or any big things where you've got like a memorable story where, wow, that was a moment where we really took a leap forward, or this was a crazy thing that happened? Do you have any of those from over the years that you could share with us?
Um, well, in Ultimate, it was just being like the major disc for the tournament in Halifax. When we first started, after a few years, we were asked to be like the main disc used in that event, and that was a
Right.
great thing to be in. And just being at some of the world championships have been amazing, just seeing how elite this sport is, actually, from the regular league play that we usually do.
Right.
It's like a whole different caliber, and these people are just destroying themselves on the field compared to what we do.
Yeah, a lot of the people we've had on this show have started out in Ultimate and then found their way over to disc
Yes.
golf. We hear that story.
Once the injuries start mounting up,
Yeah.
they kind of transition over at that point. Yeah.
A lot of times
Yes.
what we hear is that when you do disc golf, there's no one taking you out at the knees usually when you're throwing your disc up the field. So,
Yeah.
but no, that's good. And so when you guys started out too, you had the ultimate discs, but when you got into the disc golf side, did you just start off with
Yeah.
one disc? Did you do a few, or how did you start, and where are you at now?
But we did the fairway, a mid-range, and the putter.
Okay.
Those, we just did 3 at the time, because we knew that's what most people were looking for. They didn't want something that they can't handle. So we wanted to get in with the beginners and the amateurs and the intermediate players, the ones that are going to become stars in the future.
Hmm.
And would be able to put these in their bag right away and use them all the time without worrying about, like, am I going to be able to throw this disc? Because as soon as they left their hand, they'd know, oh yeah, this is great, and we'll be able to use this from now on. So
Hmm.
that's what we were going for at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those first three discs, do you remember what were the names of them, and are they still part of the collection of discs that Daredevil sells?
Yeah, they're actually probably our most popular disc still, is the like the Timberwolf, the Moose, and the Polar Bear. We did several other variants of that mold in different plastics, but yeah, it still seems to stick, that the Timberwolf, Moose, and Polar Bear. We also do a softer putter called the Woodchuck that people are really excited about when it came out, because it's basically super
Oh, wow.
super soft. And this
Yeah.
was probably, at the time, it was like we probably the only one that was actually making something that flexible.
Right.
I know now there are more of these around, but some people still say like ours is the softest one they have in their bag. They haven't found anything else like that, and it does that kind of motion when it hits the chain. So basically, it sticks. It doesn't
Okay.
bounce off, especially if we're throwing on a hill
Yeah.
anywhere. It helps for that as well.
Yeah.
Right. And looking too now, so you start out with the three discs, and if I'm right, you're up to
Yeah,
28 different molds that you have now in the collection. Is that
yeah. We
correct?
came out with a few other shapes for mid rangers and drivers, starting to go to the longer range drivers.
Hmm.
And then recently we did the putt approach, which is the Hellbender disc.
Okay.
And we're planning on getting 4 other new molds to kind of fit in the speeds that we don't have right now in our line.
Right.
So because we have a lot of I think we have up to over 40 disc golf team players now.
Right.
And yes, we're always getting feedback like, I have most of your discs in our bag, but there's one we're missing. If you had a speed this, then we'd fill that in. Um, so that's what we're trying to do, is trying to fill in those gaps so that people that love our discs and feel a little guilty about using someone else's can actually replace that one eventually.
Yeah.
But I'm just amazed that people are using our discs mainly in their bags, because we just wanted everyone in North America to use at least one of our discs in the bag. Like, we didn't expect them to be using all of them or a large quantity in their bag.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that's like that's a really good thing for us to hear.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned about people using your discs and things like that. We have a question in the chat
Yeah.
here from Philippe, and maybe this can be directed a bit more towards Patrick. I'm not sure how much you know about this, but he wants to know, how did the Nico LaCastro sponsorship come about with Daredevil discs?
Um, well, we were working with another team player, uh, Ricky Singleton. He's in Indiana, and we were sponsoring his whole team. I think he had like over 30 people on his team in Indiana, and he was kind of helping me look for like higher end players to sponsor, and
Right.
I guess he's good at talking to these people, and he we did a few video chats with them. We worked with him for 1 year, and we worked with Scott Stokely on his one of his programs. We
Right.
Okay.
got discs into the of, of his programs as well,
Right. Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
yeah, got to talk to a lot of other manufacturers that just wanted to chat. And
Right.
Yeah.
yes.
Well, Patrick, now that we mentioned the 28 discs that Daredevil has available, how many of them are in your bag? Do you have all 28, or have you kind of pared it down to the essentials that you need for your game?
Oh yeah, I mean it's pretty much directed. The only one I don't have is, like I said, as of now, when we get these new discs in there, these 12 speed, 11 speed, that's going to be the one. But as of right now, yeah, all Daredevil, baby. I mean, putting with my big horns, I'm not missing. Automatic. They catch it. They see me playing on the weekly events, and next thing you know, everyone's asking me for them. Like you heard me say, my Mammoth is my go-to. It people get so upset when I throw that thing because they know it's a two every time. Um, and the Hellbender Salamander's my bread and butter. I make that thing do some awesome stuff. Timberwolf definitely. Heiser flip just bombs for days. So people just enjoy it. They never
Yeah.
seen some of it, and it spreads like wildfire. That's the one thing I will say. You try, if anyone in chat, anyone that's listening that hasn't tried Daredevil, this is
Yeah.
a great opportunity to come try it and join the team with us and tell us what you think. Yeah, I'm sure everyone's gonna love it as I have.
Yeah. I mean, you say that. We have a person in the chat called Doc. He's the one from North Carolina. He's already put, okay, I've bought 2 Daredevil discs. So as we've been on the
Excellent,
air,
excellent.
he's already bought 2 discs. So there's 2 that are, maybe he can buy he'll probably get them straight from you anyway.
Yeah,
I just want to
definitely.
talk.
Tell them to message us off Instagram, and we'll take care of them.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just want to talk about. We mentioned about the different molds. Do you want to talk a little bit about the different types of plastic that you have in your bag, and what type of plastics the runs come in?
So as far as the ones I've got in my bag is a little bit of everything. We got our Flex Performance, we've got our Ultra Performance, or even the base plastic, all of it. I've got a little bit of everything in there, and it's I would definitely say um, the our base plastic is very similar to like a KC Pro for
Okay.
Innova users. That's usually a good comparison, I should say.
Hmm.
Our UP, our Ultra Performance, which is, like I said, that's that salamander that I'm using so much of. Um, that to me is almost like a G Star eye blend feel
Okay.
for
Yeah.
what's getting that way. Good comparison so people know.
Yeah.
In our Ultra plastics, very similar to a Champion or Z. Um, and Flex Plastic is kind of on that ESP Flex. It's got a different, very similar to the other ones, but ours are very unique. Honestly, it sets a different tone and it's got a good feel to it. I really think that people would try it and they'll enjoy it. It's definitely comparable, but ours is better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. Well, Doc just got into the chat. He said, "Tell them I'm sorry," but he ended up going through Infinite. So hopefully that doesn't make you guys too
It,
sad on that front. As long as
no,
you're
no
selling
worries.
discs, it's all good, right?
Long as they're trying it, that's all we care about. Tell them definitely once he gets it, post it on our Instagram. We'd be happy to share it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, and the other thing, when I looked, Mike and Patrick, when I looked on the website, I could see that you can actually get all 28 discs, and with the price that you guys are selling them in Canadian dollars, it's like less than $10 a disc. And where can you get premium discs for that price? I don't think you can. So
Yeah.
that's an amazing thing people should check out too. And then you'd have everyone in the collection. I've never seen that before, but I thought that was really cool.
Exactly.
So now what I would say is, you guys have mentioned a lot of discs, and that's what we like to talk about, especially when we have a disc manufacturer on there. Now this is going to be, I want to get Mike's feeling and get Patrick's feeling, and this is one disc, okay? So if there was, like, when you talk about, say, Discraft, sometimes it'll be like, oh, you got to have a buzz. You got to have a buzz, because if you get a buzz, that's the disc you got to have. If it's MVP, it might be, you got to have a hex. It doesn't always have to be a mid-range, but a lot of manufacturers have that one disc that they talk about. What would it be for you, Mike, if you were like, this is the, as you said, I want to have one disc in people's bags? What's the one Daredevil disc that each of you think someone should put in their bag if they've never had one?
Uh, I would say the Timberwolf. That's the one that's my go-to. You don't have to have a good strong arm either to throw it, and it's just I can't throw the long stuff, so basically that one goes perfectly straight for me every time, and I'm pretty accurate with it.
Right.
And
What are the flight
like
numbers on that one?
I've gone to tournaments, and these guys have giant bags of discs, and I'm there with like a polar bear and a timber wolf in my hand, and that's all I play with the whole tournament. So
It's awesome.
That's
sometimes the
great.
moose, but
Well,
yes,
it's funny you say moose because Kevin King just said he won a Lethbridge bring your own one disc event and he won it with a moose. So there you go.
no.
And then over to you, Patrick. What would you say? Would you agree, or do you have a different disc? Is that one disc somebody should have?
I would 110% agree. Timberwolf's the way to go, and it is 9.6 -10. And
Mm.
like Mike said, I
Wow.
mean, it's gonna fit everyone's arm. If you're intermediate and you're just starting and you want to get long distance, go with the Timberwolf, and you're gonna crush it. Uh, Bigger arms, you're gonna hyzer flip, and you're gonna throw it. It's gonna bomb. It's great disc. It really
Yeah.
is. It's definitely the if you were looking online and you're wanting to know, Timberwolf.
Yeah.
There you go.
There. That's awesome. And as we were talking, oh, look, there's a couple right there.
Oh, hang on one second.
We got a Timberwolf
So there, I
and
can't.
a polar bear. I love the designs on them, and I love that
Yeah.
they're themed and they kind of stick with the same theme
Well,
as
if you
well.
like those, I'm gonna put these on the website soon. They're the new
Oh,
prints
baby. Yeah, I do like
with
that.
the
They got like a metallic look to them, or a little
Yeah.
bit of a, or even almost like a
Mechanical.
pharaoh or a
Mhm.
mechanical. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
really good, man. Are those dropping soon, or are they already out there?
I'll try and get them on tonight.
Yeah, we didn't mean to make more work for you there, Mike.
Trying to run out of the older models first before I put that on there, but why not?
Those are great designs. Now, you had said you wanted to be inclusive, Mike, when it came to discs and bringing them
Yeah.
and making sure everybody could get to play with them. And one of the things it feels like too is that you've done that by putting out some lightweight and some ultra lightweight and some smaller discs so that you can actually get the juniors and the younger players in. Now, what is the
Yes.
lightest disc or the lightest weight disc that Daredevil makes?
We're talking disc golf?
Disc golf related, yeah.
Well, the Timberwolf, we did come out with like a 160, like
Oh,
158, 160, 161
okay.
Right.
version, which is like more than 10 grams less than what it normally was. We usually
Okay.
try and go max weight most of our discs.
Right.
Um,
Now,
we're just playing around with.
is it different on the other on the ultimate discs in that? Do you have some lighter ones on that side?
Well, like we have our regular ultimate disc,
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
the
good.
175 gram.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's the 140 gram,
Oh,
which
wow.
is like a mini version of the ultimate disc. And then we have a 115 gram, which is a little different shape. It's
Yeah.
also good for kids under 9 years old. And then the other one's good until up to about 12 years, and then the adults would play with the 175 gram.
Gotcha.
Right. I just wanted to throw it. I know I keep going back to the chat,
Yeah,
but
it's
there's
just
been
so
so
active
many,
tonight.
and then little things will keep coming up. You just showed off those designs there and those new designs that you've got, Robert, in the
Yes.
chat. Not to mention they have one of the coolest logo designs in disc golf.
Mm-hmm.
And while we brought up those stamps there, I just wanted to mention: is there, who designs your discs?
It's mainly me. Like most of the tribal style is, I did like all the tribal style discs on our disc golf disc and the ultimate disc. Basically, it's me. I'm in a design background. I used to do
Right.
animation. All
Mm.
that's how we actually funded getting this Daredevil started. Is we had to do other things.
Right.
So we just did design and artwork. So I thought I'd
Yeah. Cool.
at least try to keep doing that somehow. And yeah, all the new designs coming out are also stuff that I've been working on as well. So eventually I want to get the whole line going, but I kind of wanted to stagger it and try and sell out of the old prints first that I have in stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're running out soon, so I'm going to have to hurry up.
Good
Sounds
stuff.
good.
Yeah, and we talked earlier there too, Mike, about when we get into the other things that Daredevil does and all the sponsorships that they've done. And one of the things that I saw there was, I think it was at the 2023 Canadian Nationals, the ones in Thunder Bay. Was that the one that you guys had sponsored for the disc golf side of things, or did I have my research right there? Or
No, we did one in Calgary
oh, okay,
quite a while ago, but yeah,
yeah, but you've
I
tried
we
to get involved all over Canada when
yes,
it comes to an event. You guys are ready to be there, and it's not just the events, but you're also sponsoring players. And I think that's where we could get this back to Patrick a bit.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the Daredevil team and what it takes to be a member to be sponsored by Daredevil.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a little bit of a good variety. We've got a fair amount of people from the United States. We've got a fair amount of people from Canada. And honestly, a lot of these people just loved our product. They loved our brand, and everyone on our team is a bunch of fun individuals, passionate individuals that care about the game and the well-being. And everyone is so uplifting. Everyone supports everyone. I mean, it's honestly like a family, and that's kind of what we're looking for. We want people that represent the brand and can really just stand by it and be there for one another. And that's pretty much what we've got here going on. Is just like I said, it's a great network of friends and family. I would like to say at this point, and we're always looking for new people that would love to join us. We're very welcoming of people that are on the same mindset as we are.
Right.
Hmm.
And now with that team, are there any players, whether they're up and comers or somebody who's making waves out there, anybody that we should shout out and give them some love that our listeners can check out?
Yeah, I would say let me double check his Instagram handle real quick.
Okay.
Mhm.
It is. Give me one
Well, that's
moment.
the
I'm
thing a
sorry
lot of
about
times
that.
is you'll
Should have
know a
had this
player's
ready.
name, but what the Instagram handle turns into is not always
They're
exactly the
not always
thing.
exactly the
Yeah,
same.
I would say the one person that's making some waves for us right now is definitely a disc golf cholo. He's out of Florida. He loves creating content and he's got great energy. He did a Father's Day video for us. Um, we're definitely trying to also work with Bear Bite Disc Golf. He's did some
Okay.
videos with us. He's potentially wants to join the team, so that's definitely someone I'd look out for. And honestly, everyone on there, everyone's up and coming. Everyone's since they've switched over, majority throwing Daredevil ratings are up.
Oh,
Ratings are
there
up.
you go.
So
There you go.
I would say watch everyone. To be honest with you, there we go. There we go. He
Yeah, there.
represents. He represents. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
Yeah, so we got Disc Golf Cholo up on the screen, and that looks like that's the name. That's the handle, right?
that's
Disc
the one.
Golf Cholo. So go
That's
check that
great.
out.
Yeah,
Awesome.
there
Uh,
you go.
Well, good stuff. And no, that's great. So if people, and it'd be great to be part of a team that is a Canadian team too, and obviously has the U.S. connection there. But
Mhm.
when your discs are coming from Canada, they probably come a lot quicker, and you probably don't have to worry about as many tariffs when you're in Canada if you're getting your discs from up here. Hey, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah. And a really good thing about the team now is we've got more women players, which at the beginning it was just mainly men playing or young men, and now we've got women and young women playing on our team, which is great because we've had lots of women saying they love our product, and we just never seem to connect with them on a team level yet. And this year we did, so it's I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'd
awesome.
have to agree 110%. That's definitely something we both were looking forward to doing. And there's so many women have so many groups as well. And honestly, I just feel like other people or other companies honestly lack in that department, and that's something we wanted to improve and represent as well. And like he said, we've got a lot of younger kids too, and some and women. It's great, and it really is. It's really
Hmm.
something to be proud of.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we mentioned it a little bit earlier with you being down in North Carolina and you being in Canada, Mike, and we in the chat people are talking about getting discs from Canada into the States and with the tariffs and things like that. And we also
Mm.
mentioned that you've increased your um I don't want to say work, but your partnerships with people in Canada trying to run events and leagues and tournaments and things like that. In the chat, we have Bevy who says he'll be looking to get some custom stamped discs for the Ontario Junior Championship. So look out for an email from
That-
him. It's good. We're bringing people together here. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, and Bevy's been on the show too. He's a great guy. He's organizing a lot of the junior Heiser events in Ontario and helping get kids into the sport. So that's great. And as we talk about all
okay.
these different events that you guys have been supporting, one of the ones that's happening is right in our backyard this weekend. And you're partnering with Queer Disc Golf and Andy Seawright, and you're going to be supporting the Chains for Change Big Berta event in. It's actually on Saturday and Sunday. Hey, Daryl.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So how did that one come apart? Did how did you and Andy meet up?
Well, he just contacted me and was interested in getting a Canadian product into his tournaments, and we just worked it out from there. And this is the first tournament that we're actually making discs for, so we're
Oh,
crossing our fingers.
nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like a great event, and he's been doing it for a few years now, and he gets a good turnout, and he's been doing them all over North America, so
Yeah.
Hmm.
not just within Canada. It seemed like a great fit for us,
Yes.
and it's yeah, a good range of players going to that event. So
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
and when we talk to Andy too, we know that he's partnered up with Judge Havoc from the Ontario area to do the design, and it's going to be it's almost like he's got a great series of
yes,
Scully Boy discs coming along. So I know you didn't design this one, but it'll still be a great design on that disc as well, I think. Or did you design that one,
yeah.
or was it Judge?
No, he did it. I commented and said that it was a nice disc when I received it in the email.
Yeah.
I actually have a print here. If you
Oh, I
want
don't
to
know.
see
Should
it.
we spoil it? I don't know. Are we okay to do an
No,
exclusive, Daryl? Do you think?
I think it's already out there.
Oh, is it already out there? Yeah, we'd love to see it.
Oh, it might be on his computer.
okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you had one there. Okay. Well, there you go. And I guess too, while he's grabbing
All
that.
right.
Oh, here we are.
So that's what it looks like.
Okay. Look at that one.
Nice.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
quite nice.
Yeah.
And which discs did you do up for the event? Is it Timberwolves that'll be out there, or?
We did a Swift box, which is like a variant of the Timberwolf, but it's in our ultra plastic.
Okay.
There's also the salamander in there as well. Like a lot of the discs that we know that any type of range of player could use and really like to play with. And especially beginners, they need as much help as they can get to excel
Yeah.
for it.
Well, we
It's not always the beginners that need help.
no, it's all of us do for sure.
Absolutely.
And looking too, when we checked the numbers recently, there's still room. And we talked to Andy last week. So anybody who's listening, who's out in the Edmonton area or in the region who wants to come up, lots of space to play both on Saturday and Sunday, be part of the event. We already talked about how great the discs would be, and now we're seeing them.
Yeah.
And that's another awesome Scully Boy print that's going to be on there.
Exactly. If you're into collecting discs and you like cool stamps, definitely go over
Yes.
to Disc Golf Scene and sign up for that event.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you, Daryl, but Andy's already got 2 set aside for me. So
Well, I know you're unavailable to come because you won't be in this area, so I know that I knew you'd get your hands on them somehow.
that's right. I might need you to pick them up, but
Yeah. Okay.
there you go. So I think what I've got at this point, Daryl,
Yeah.
is I got a little story for you.
Go ahead.
Because I like to do sometimes with Daryl, I kind of teach him about Canadian geography. Why? I don't know. It's one of those things I do when I learn more as I'm researching for our guests.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure how well you know the Gatineau, Ottawa area, Daryl.
I'm not familiar with it at all.
But I do consider myself a bit of an expert after all of my research.
Okay.
And during my research, I learned about Chaudière Falls, which roughly translates to Boiler Falls, sometimes called Cauldron or Kettle Falls,
Okay.
due to the unique shape of these waterfalls. They were named by early French explorer Samuel de Champlain, and it's in question if it was the true name or just a misprint in the journal. So that's your history there.
Okay. Good.
But these falls are located in the Ottawa River where it narrows. It's like this rocky escarpment,
Right.
and on each side you've it boils in, curves around. But the coolest part of these falls,
Yeah.
the part that I think you're going to be most interested in,
Mhm.
is that they're kind of part of an island.
I wonder where it was going.
After this, you've taken a relaxing cruise, however the ship goes down. You manage to swim to an island, and fortunately for you, there's an 18-hole disc golf course. Which 3 discs are you taking with you on the island?
It was a long and winding segue to get there, but you finally got there, Jeremy. So this is the part of the podcast where we like to find out if you were on this, maybe you're on this riverboat on this island, and the ship went down, and you had to grab a bag and it only had 3 discs in it, and you swim to an island. Which 3 discs would you be taking with you to the island? And I think we'll start with Mike on this one. Which 3 discs are you taking, Mike?
Timberwolf, moose, and polar bear, for sure.
Bam.
That's it. Straight, easy answer, right? Any particular plastics for these ones?
They're mainly flex.
Okay.
So I don't like them too rigid, and yeah, the polar bear is a little more flexible or a little less flexible, but it's got that gummy feel,
Yeah.
like an eraser.
Right.
So it's good on the hands and sticks to the chains.
Yeah. There you go. Did we
Yeah.
really expect them to say anything else other than Daredevil disc? But
We were.
no, exactly. We'll throw that question over to you, Patrick. Which 3 discs are you taking with you?
Hands down, it's going to be the mammoth, the salamander, and the bighorn. You can accomplish everything with it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
There
There's
we go.
no course, no nothing. You just give me those 3, and we're having a great time and a great round.
There you go. You kind of hinted and you kind of alluded to they might be your 3, the discs that you love earlier on. So I figured that might be the ones.
Yeah.
And then the kind of kicker to this question that we've added on is, okay, you've got your 3 discs. We knew they were going to be Daredevil. You've got them in your bag. You're on this island. Now, if you don't know how long you're going to be on this island until you get rescued. So if you could transport any course that you've played, I mean, you can even transport a course you haven't played, but you could transport a course onto this island that you're just going to play this one course around and around and around until you get rescued. Which course would you like to be transported onto the island? And I think this time we'll go backwards. We'll go to Patrick first.
That is a great question. There was this temporary course that we had, and it is no longer available, and it was on a golf course, and it was a massive, massive course. And I would honestly, I regret that they. It's kind of sad that they closed. If I could go and take that with me, that's
Yeah.
that's what I would take. I mean,
Did it have a
it
name?
was great. Yeah, it was this Rock at the Stonewall.
The Rock
That's
Okay.
at
what it
the
was called.
Stonewall.
And
Perfect.
I'll also say this is a little fun part to it is like I said, it was very hilly, so we had to take golf carts naturally to go to the holes. And I'll just be honest, there was a sketchy hill that you're pretty much just going like this on, and I'd like to go for that thrill again as well.
That's
So
awesome.
3 discs and a golf cart need to be on this island.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
That's fair.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. And then how about you, Mike? If you could transport one course that you would play until you get rescued.
Um, well, the main one that I used to play on, but it got shut down, is probably close to my heart. It was Jacques Cartier. It's actually in Gatineau,
Okay.
Okay.
uh, and it got shut down. They basically got rid of all the sports in that park.
All right.
There's a lot of cyclists there, and I think someone might have got hit, so that kind of got rid of that park pretty quick.
Right. Oh, that's
But
a bit of a shame.
and it's not too far from Chaudière Falls either. So
There we
There
are.
you go. It all comes back around.
See, so it was long
yeah,
and convoluted, but at least it was
It got there in the end.
it
yeah.
got there.
Like when we started the disc golf company, like making the disc golf discs, I would go there like every morning at like 6 o'clock in the morning and play around. Uh, just as the sun was coming up, it was perfect,
Yeah.
and it was
Is
all
it-
like it was a public park, so it was all groomed and everything was just right. And yeah, I missed that park a lot. So
So we could almost say that was kind of the testing ground for Daredevil back in the day.
yeah, I think that we basically the first tournament I think we gave our disc to was at that park. So that's
Right.
with the Ottawa Disc Golf Club. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it must be a popular course because Bevy's saying that he misses that course. So
yes,
there you go.
Yeah, someone else who has fond memories of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was right in the heart of the city too, which and like right on the borderline of Quebec and Ontario.
All right.
And yeah, it was a permanent 18-hole course, and it was sad to see that go.
Yeah.
I think we keep trying to get it back, but it's owned by the city owns it, and the
Mm,
National Capital Commission, which there's a lot of hoops to jump through to get
yeah. I hear you.
anything.
Well, I think there's only one hoop, and that's just get onto a desert island, and Daryl will make it happen.
That's true. That's true.
There you go.
So now, before we let you guys go, we just want to make sure that if there's anything we missed or something else that you wanted to shout out or let our listeners know, we want to give you each a moment for that. So, Mike, is there anything else you wanted to shout out before we let you go?
Um, basically, like new designs coming out, and Patrick's our go-to guy in the U.S. So if anyone has any questions or wants some product, he's there.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
That's about it.
And how about you, Patrick?
Yeah, I would like to first and foremost thank everyone that's tried Daredevil discs and for going forward, like Mike said, we got some new discs coming out. We got some new plastic potentially coming out. We've got some good things in the mix. We want to hear your thoughts. Follow us on Instagram. Message us. We love hearing any experience, all experiences, And once again, if you're interested in even joining the team, give us a message out on Instagram, and we'd be happy to talk to you about it. And like I said, if you haven't tried us out, give us a try. And we really appreciate you having us on here. It's been a great time.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's been great to have you. And I know I'll be very excited to get those discs from Andy from this weekend and give those a try. And I'm getting two. And, I don't always need two discs, Daryl. So maybe we'll just have to give one away on the podcast.
It's what we do.
Yes, it's true.
You might end up keeping both of them. You'll fall in love.
Yeah, there is that too. That could happen as well. Well, thank you so much. It was great talking with you guys. And if you have anything ever that you want us to shout out for you or to mention, just reach out. We'd be more than
Oh.
happy to.
Yeah. And also, like
All
Mike
right.
said, if you're out in Canada, reach out that way. And everyone in the United States, I have product here, so you don't have to worry about those shipping costs. We got you. We got you covered. We're here for you.
Sweet.
There you go. That's what we like to hear.
All right.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining, guys, and we will be talking to you again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank
All
you.
right.
You guys have a good night. Thank you,
Yep.
everyone, for watching and listening.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Well,
Bye.
that's awesome, Daryl. Now, I can tell you was when I first started disc golfing, I had a few discs under my belt,
Mm-hmm.
and I was at United Cycle in Edmonton, of all places.
Right.
And I saw the one that Kevin had mentioned earlier, the Ogopogo, sitting on the shelf there. And I'm like, this has a cool design. And I thought, the Ogopogo, I was like, that's Okanagan Lake. That's the Loch Ness Monster of Canada. Was
Mhm.
all excited. So I picked one of those up. First thing I noticed was it was really soft, very kind of rubbery and that, so it would
Flexible, yeah.
land nice and flat.
Yeah.
But the one thing I didn't realize that I believe the last number, the fade number on it, was like a 4, and I
Oh.
was and I
Is
was
it
still
beefy?
brand new. And when you're brand new and you're throwing 150-foot hyzers with every disc you throw,
Yeah.
it was almost like I was throwing 150-foot rollers at that time. So unfortunately, at that time, that disc ended up moving on. I got it to somebody else's hands because it was just too much for me.
Right.
But I think now that we've been playing a few years and we've got some distance, we can throw those shots in those angles. Even that Ogopogo would be doing pretty good in my bag. So I'll
Yeah.
have
There
to.
you go. It's
So
always
I'll be giving them a try.
that's what we always say, right? Go and revisit those discs that you had in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they didn't work for you back then, but then as soon as you get better,
Then
who
you can do
knows?
something with them.
Exactly.
And what did you think of the conversation?
Oh, I'm always, that's, you know, it's the thing that we love to do is to expose more people to Canadian disc golf,
Mm-hmm.
and whether that be Canadian pros. We always say we want to make Canadian pros, MPO, FPO names as commonplace in Canadian people's kitchens as Ricky, Paul, Calvin, Gannon, right? So we want to promote MPOs and the players, FPOs as well. But then we get to speak to disc store owners and we
Mhm.
find out, how it started, and we find out that there's only a few left in Canada, and they're popping up or they're closing down or whatever, that sort of thing. The origins of how they started a disc golf store. We speak to people that put courses in, and you
Mhm.
think, oh, how did you get into it? And like all the roots of how spread across Canada we are with this sport that we all love.
Mhm.
And then speaking to, a company, and Mike and, Patrick, a company that's been around for 20 odd years that I got to admit that I didn't know they'd been around that long.
Right.
I looked at, seen all their discs on their website and things like that. Everyone's heard of Daredevil discs. But just to find out where they came from and that they have that, integration with Ultimate as well. And, just that they manufacture everything in Canada.
Mhm.
They're a 100% Canadian company.
And even like they have a solid theme, their designs, that kind of tribal animal
Yeah.
look, and they're using Canadian animals for the most part as well.
Yeah.
And then just the fact that they're leveling up
The
those
Ogopogo isn't real.
designs.
I just saw it. It's not a real animal.
No, you go out to Okanagan, you'll see them.
Oh, is it real?
Yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah. You ask anybody in Canada who's been out there, I'm sure they've got a sighting or they know of someone who knows someone who knows someone who saw the Ogopogo.
Right. It's a blurry photo in black and white. Is that what it is?
Exactly. Well, I'm telling you, with that polar bear and which was the other one they showed, in the Timberwolf, I think had
Timberwolf,
those
yeah.
two designs. Like those new designs, they almost gave me, like, how Latitude 64 did those Kristen Tatar ones,
Mm-hmm.
but like level that up.
Right.
Like take that a level up, put it in like metal armor, and it's got like this whole new vibe to it.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it. I can't wait to see those out on the website. If
Yeah.
Mike's feverishly doing that as we're speaking.
Yeah. I didn't. I felt like a little bit bad that you were like, when are they going to be fed up? And he's like, oh, try and get them up
I'll do
tonight.
it right now. Well, and for doing things right now, if you haven't subscribed to our podcast yet, please do us a favor and jump on there. Last time we checked, we had 403 subscribers, and we're working on the push to 500. And last week, Daryl, we did a
Hmm.
little teaser because we've been doing up a lot of prizes when it comes up for the 500 subscriber giveaway.
Yeah.
And last time we showed one of our discs, and that disc was the wasp, that green wasp that we had.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go to the tickle trunk.
Oh, go to the tickle trunk.
And I
What else
want
have we got?
I want to show people about another disc that's going to be in our 500 subscribers, which is why you should tell your friends. Make sure all of your accounts are subscribed on YouTube. All of those good things.
All of the accounts.
Yeah, all of them. Everyone that you have.
Yeah.
Even the new ones.
And if you only have the one, then make a couple more.
Yeah, there you go. But once you get those going and we get to 500 subscribers, not only do we have the wasp we're going to give away, Daryl,
We've got a few more other things as well.
we also have something you brought back from Smith Lake Farms.
Oh yeah, I did.
So tell us about this disc.
So as we've mentioned before, and Doc Zen is a newfound fan of this man. This man is called Chance Stad.
Yep.
He's Canadian MPO. He was there running the disc golf clinic. This is one of his new stamps for 2025, and if Chance is coming out with a stamp, it's going to be a cool looking stamp. Last year he did the Mad Scientist
Mm-hmm.
stamp and all that, and he had a few there. But I know you already had one. So this is one of his new 2025 stamps. It's the Baby Cthulhu stamp
Yeah.
on a tempo.
Yeah, and this looks like it's a neutron tempo for an MVP.
Yeah.
And so these are a nice one. These are the ones that Jeremy Colling did a signature disc with. And
Yeah.
they're 4-speed, a little bit overstable,
Mm-hmm.
but they hold it when you do a forehand. They'll hold that line. They won't flip over on you.
There you go.
So a
And
nice disc.
it's a signed Chance
Yes,
Stad
has
2025
signature.
tempo.
So that is going to be in the 500 subscriber
Gonna
giveaway.
add that to the box.
Yep.
Or as everybody likes to hear you say now, add that to the tickle trunk.
And the tickle trunk is getting quite big. And I don't know what we're going to reveal next week, but we'll keep revealing, and you guys keep subscribing.
And you know what the funny thing is? I just got that, and you just put it in tickle trunk.
Yeah. Oh, there was already it was already full. That's
Right.
on top
But
of the
I know, but that's what I'm saying is that the longer it takes us to get to 500, the more things keep going in this tickle trunk
Why
in the subscriber giveaway.
I think eventually we're gonna have to save them for the 1,000 subscribers.
Well,
at
that's
some
it.
point.
Exactly. It's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. So go ahead. And the only way you can win that is to be subscribed.
That's right.
So get in on it and subscribe.
Yeah. So the DF Open giveaway is done. Next up, the Smith Lake Farms giveaway. Watch for that. We still have a Fractal Prodigy disc to give away. We'll get to that eventually. And if you want more from Chain Out Podcast, why don't you use the discount codes that we have?
Well, also don't forget that we have the fantasy podcast and we have giveaways over there as well. Securing the fantasy picks on we have a $10 gift card to give away, which I don't think we've done yet.
For
No, we did. We did two of them. We maybe have to give one away for the DF Open.
No, we did that as well.
We did that one.
Man, but yeah, it's hard to keep track of.
I know, exactly. But we have gift cards from BR, who is the sponsor of the fantasy episodes, to give away on that as well. Plus, we have the midpoint giveaway, and then we'll have one big prize for the end of it as well. So we have lots of giveaways. We have giveaways all over the place.
And if giveaways aren't good enough, then you can use discount codes and head over to BR Disc Golf and use Chain Out to get 10% off your purchases there. Go over to Cardinal Disc Golf, use Chain Out with a space and get 10% off your purchase there. Go to the Goat Towel, the greatest of all towels. Use the code COP15 to get 15% off your order. Or go to Chains, the disc golf board game, use Chain Out and get 25% off. Daryl, we're going to need more time if we're going to keep getting discounts. There's a lot of discounts going on, hey?
That's it. We're just popular.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to join in on the celebration of disc golf.
Yeah. And the other way you can help us out is join our Patreon. There's multiple levels. You can support us for $1 amount, or you can support us for free. And if you join up on there, you'll get the free link to join us live for our extra episodes. Tonight being the Fantasy Picks episode with the one and only Chance Stad. And we'll be doing or is it Chad Stans?
What's the over-under on me calling him Chad?
Oh, it's going to be, I have to pick a number. Let's say 2.5 times.
Okay.
Is it over or under 2.5 times? Which means it's not 0.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll be having him on. We'll be picking the larger than life picks. You can join us, help influence us there. And the last thing we have is go to our link tree. You can always buy us a beer for a one-time thing because we always enjoy that too.
Yeah.
But Daryl, the Timberwolf is in our future.
I think so. 9.6 minus 1.0.
That sounded, as soon as those numbers came up, you were pretty excited, hey?
Yeah, I've never really, I don't think I've ever seen it apart from the Wombat, which
Yeah.
is a 5.6 negative 1.0, but nothing at a 9, of above a 6 speed
Right.
with a negative turn and 0 fade.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you could you bomb that, you get a bit of nice hyzer flip out of that, send that straight down the fairway.
Yeah, I think so. And I think where I'm going to take that one is I'm going down to WJ Homestead this weekend for the NADGT event. And there's a couple holes there. And there's one, this top of the world shot.
Oh yeah,
It's a top of the world shot where you need a disc that can sail because you're going way down and it's got to go far.
right,
And with a disc like that, I think I could throw it a little to the left
right.
and let that fade just go around. There's a set of
Turn.
trees that would go around there. Just keep kind of drifting. And then it'll start to drop down.
Yeah,
Drop down towards the basket.
yeah.
Start aiming for those chains.
Oh yeah.
And there's one thing
There's one
that
thing
Timberwolf could never do. It's in its natural habitat. It's in the woods.
Yeah,
It's at a basket.
doesn't want to be in the basket.
No, there's one thing it could never do.
It would never.
Chain
Chain out.
out.
Thanks everybody.
Catch you next time.